All right. Good morning, everyone. Yes, welcome back to Dankscope Traders Hub, and we are now back. Today is a Tuesday. Yes, we're back here to make this money as usual. It's done right here and ready to take us through the analysis. So without further ado, let's pray and then start today's session. Father, thank you for the beautiful morning. It is a Tuesday, 8th of April, Lord. We're coming into this session knowing that you're able to do in us something good. Even today, as we get into trading, as we get into analyzing this market, oh God, we know that you're able to give us good signals, just how you've always done it. Signals, good entry and exit points. We know that you're capable of doing that and you're able to do it. So we give you praise and we say thank you for everything, for the profits that we're making today. Thank you for the exit points you're giving us today. Thank you for the insights and knowledge and whatsoever you're giving unto us as far as trading is concerned. We give you praise and we love you. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Alright. So today is a day of making money. I feel it. I don't know if someone feels it, but yeah, I feel it. We're going to make some good money. So whoever is ready, please let someone know. Share that link and let them know we are making money today. We are going to make money today. Alright, so let's start with Crash 500 as usual. Crash 500 as usual. All right, so excuse me. So Crash 500 yesterday, we traded it 2 times. Yeah, just it went as how I had analyzed. Those who followed the analysis. So let me show you that. So this was the first move. We traded this move and took us there, and immediately when it gave us this, that was another entry. Those who are on the signals platform, you know that I gave you this signal and I told you to move out when it came around that level, but of course it reacted back and then came all the way even to the TP that I had already told you about. So this is where we wanted to take the profits from and then start the buying move, but it went all the way to give us this was like a liquidity grab. I want to understand that because I don't see it. Anyways, yeah, it went all the way down below, exceeded where we wanted to get our buys from right here, and went all over to this level. Those who remember, there's a point where we wanted it to reach actually to that, on that level. Let's see if it is the exact level. Almost, yeah. So but now we reached onto that level, and someone may say that is a break of structure, but looking at H1, it is oversold. Looking at H4, it is oversold. We need buys. Looking at M15, we need buys. So it means we can easily now make an entry, but not now. Why? I can see some reaction, some price reaction right there. Yeah, so that's a weak resistance up there. So it means I need to see how to break that level. In fact, it is a fair value gap according to H1. There is a fair value gap. Remember, this is like a break of structure according to H1 right there. That is like a break of structure. Even according to H4, that may be seen as a break of structure, even though it is not that much of a big issue right on H4. But according to daily, you have to realize we are oversold and we are trying to get the pullback, but the general trend, we haven't even gotten a change of character according to daily. So once you have known that, then you need to understand that the general trend has always been a sell. Why? Because of that change of character. We've been selling, and then break of structure, of course. So we've been selling according to daily, so we haven't started any buy entries according to H4 and daily. So that's why it is still a risk to make buy entries. But according to M15, H1, we now need to see if we get a buy, if we get a breakout right here, then we are going to see buys for so long. So for now, let's now wait and see what happens. But as of now, I can't enter it because it may keep playing around this level like that, until it gets some enough momentum to actually break out there, So it may keep playing around like that until it gets enough momentum to break out. So that's why I'm skeptical about entering this asset right now. I will just leave it where it is currently until further data comes to light. But as of now, I want to delete now the previous, all this that we've been using previously. Just go to H1, everything that we've been using here. Alright, I think that's better there. Okay, so that's what we have according to Crash 500. So for now, I'm not trading this, but if it gives me an entry right here, probably according to M5, then I will sell it. Clearly you can see that the sales are having the cleanest momentum. Look at this spike right here to take us down. So the sale is a bit clear, but remember this is a small asset, Crash 500. So this move alone may give you, depending on the lot size that you used, may give you some small monies. So you need to know how much you are willing to put in, which lot size you're willing to actually use in order to see at least some money that you want from a move like this. Alright, that is Crash 500. Let's now head over to Boom 1000. Boom 1000 yesterday we actually entered a sale, but I didn't share it. to the VIP, but this was a sale right there, and I can easily show it to you that I entered it. It's only that I moved out when it gave me this. and immediately it came back to the trend line. Those who remember this, that is what was about. So came to the trend line, and of course according to H1, that is the reason why we have a trend line right there, and that was even an order block, a valid order block that it reacted back to, and immediately we saw a spike right there. We saw a spike and the buys went all over, but that was of course late night. So those who followed the analysis, you should have made this money yesterday on Boom 1000. Right, so right now I want to look at what is this line right here. Maybe I first delete it. It's just making, okay, that's what we need in the longer run according to weekly, I think, actually according to daily, because of this. So but then according to H4 we have this as a sell. Now we have this as a sell. Why? Because of this rising wedge. So if we have that, then this is a fake breakout. That's a fake breakout. So it may be looking for touching that high, those highs. But according to H1, we are already overbought, so meaning the sales should be beginning. The sales should be starting from where we are currently. Sales should be starting from where we are. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? First delete all these. Delete even this now. And get to H4. Yes. Boom. Oh, sorry. Don't forget we are in Boom 1000. Just had forgotten to change the name. Boom 1000. Alright. So H4, we need to see sales. And of course these sales will be, according to H4, will be like a retracement. Now we need to look at H4 where we anticipate a retracement. According to H4, I don't see. Let me see. Let me use my fib right here like this. So the only area I see, but then there's no point of interest apart from this that was already mitigated, which was a fair value gap right there. It was already mitigated. I don't see any other point that one may rely on. So having seen that, I rather go to H1 and now look for one on H1 that aligns with 61.8. Between 50 and 61.8. That is something that I need to see, and exactly that would be this order block. That would be that order block right there. That would be that kind of order block. It is the only point of interest I see, but it is also mitigated right here. It has been mitigated right here. This is the one that was mitigated before we went ahead for that kind of buy. So that leaves us with this other order block. It's not that of a big deal right here, but you can see that it had some fair value gap, right there. So this may be one that we can rely on, this order block right here. So I may not go with this. Let me even delete it, but this may be the one that may actually give us what we are looking for. Alright, so having seen that, one may now anticipate sales according to H4 at a later stage to bring us right back here. So now I can easily delete my feed. What is happening? The fib is not okay. Delete it. Alright, so now I can anticipate on H1 sales at a later stage, not now. We haven't gotten any confirmation, but we can see that we are overbought right here. According to CCI, we are overbought. M15, we are also overbought, but currently consolidating, so meaning we are accumulating. Later on we'll see some distribution, and then manipulation and distribution later on. So for now, let's wait. As it is doing that, we'll wait to see what comes to light. Alright, so that is how I'm going to trade this. I know that I will make my sales to take me right about here. So for now, this is the second TP right here. Of course, this will be the first TP right there. So that's how we will be entering this asset today. Hopefully it will give us what we need and be able to make money on this. So enough of Boom 1000. Let's now head over to Boom 500. Let's head over to Boom 500. I don't know if any one of us actually made an entry yesterday on Boom 1000, because it was very clear. All right. Please, if you like the content that I'm sharing here, please you can go ahead and like the stream. That helps us to be seen by YouTube algorithm and be able to push us too as we grow the community of traders together. All right, you can do the liking and of course sharing the link if you want to. If you haven't subscribed, of course go ahead and do the needful subscribe. Boom Boom 500. Now yesterday look at the momentum it had. This was the highest right here. This was the highest that we saw, and this was the lowest that we saw yesterday. So market was moving within these two levels, and that clearly tells you how low the momentum was yesterday of this very asset, and this is H1. So I was waiting. Of course, we had this very falling wedge. Yeah, I was waiting for the entry. So the entry was here when it gave us this double bottom, and then a change of character right here. That was very key, but we haven't seen a pullback. The pullback was actually on M15, so we missed that. We've missed that today. This was around what time? Let's see. This was around this pullback was done around, we were supposed to enter around 9:10. Wait, 4, 5, 6, around 6 p.m. around 6 a.m. That's when we're supposed to enter this asset right here. 6:45, around there. It's when we're supposed to make an entry according to this candle right here, according to that candles. So we missed that, so that's a no-go now. all we need is now it reaches there, probably we see a breakout or come, but most of the times it doesn't just do the breakout like that. So my anticipation would be it will go up there, give us a high, and then it will come to do a retest before it can give us a breakout, and this will be the fair value gap that it will be looking at to actually give us another entry right there. This will be the fair value gap right there. So the pullback right here in the middle, then the breakout, just like we need according to the pattern that we have. So reach there, then come down again, and then boom, we enter our buys. But then you have to remember that even though we have this fair value gap, there is also this, but this is not that of a bigger deal. There is also that fair value gap just below, down below there. It may not be that of a big deal because it is below the change of character, so we need to just wait. What is happening? Let me just have it, but we may not. It's not that of a big deal. Why? If it was an order block, then it would have been a big deal. This order block is way beyond, so I'm not using it. I'm using the fair value gap here and that one right there. So the opportunity is there and there. So those are 2 points. Sometimes if these guys, the reason why I've drawn it is because you don't know which level these guys are just going to push price to. Yes, they are all fair value gaps. Even though this is below the change of character, they can still go ahead and go to sweep it out. This will be a liquidity sweep on that fair value gap. Yeah, so you have to know, you have to have all your points of interest clearly labeled so that when price reaches to that level, you'll be knowing, okay, that's where I was waiting for an entry. And once you get an entry when price reaches to the point of interest, immediately you have no other excuses not to enter the trade. All right, that is boom 500. I want to now head over to volatility 25, vol 25 1s. Okay, so start from weekly. Weekly, we need sales. We need sales, but the pullback is still continuing according to daily. Yeah, the pullback is still continuing. We said we wanted it right about there. We may see it go all the way up there, but according to what we see here, it was oversold, which gives us another impression. Okay, so H4 clearly we've been buying, we've been in an uptrend. Why? Because of the change of character here, and then higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, going there to give us a higher high, and then we'll come back here to give us a higher low. So that's how market has been running. And I told you that I was skeptical because of what it had already given us right here. Yes, according to price action. I told you that. That's why I never bothered to make any entries, because the momentum, what was on H1 was very different from what was on H4. So at least now H4 is oversold, overbought, is reaching oversold overbought I mean, and then H1 not yet overbought, but we'll still wait to see what happens. We'll still wait to see what happens. Alright, so this is a breakout structure right there, and it's giving us a high, so it's likely to come right here to give us a low, right there, and then continue with a high according to H1 and even H4. So we just have to keep waiting. If it does this and gives us an entry, we can easily get into a short buy. Yes. Alright, so let's go back to H1, delete this and that. You can clearly see that in as much as yesterday it had given, according to H1, it had given us a change of character, it was not yet oversold. So that's why I never bothered. Gave us a low, but reaching on this weak support, look at what happened. We saw a breakout structure right there. So it is still in a weird state. I want to remind you that where we are currently is an order block right there, but a weak one, it won't be that hard to break it. We will see about that, but that's another block right there, so we will see about that, what happens there. And then where we want it to go is a fair value gap up there. It should be all this right there according to the fair value gap on the daily time frame. All this is the fair value gap right here, but I don't want to use that. That's why I used this one right here. So I can go to H4. And drag this and look at the point of interest that I may be having just about there. So this would be the fair value gap. Actually, we would go with this right there. Let me go with these two right there. I'm adding these two because it can easily go and grab liquidity, but then this order block is not a valid order block, so that's why the fair value gap right here is very important. But according to daily, of course, you clearly see it, and that's where I need my entry to start selling according to daily. So on H4, we've started a new H4 candle. Either it's gonna come down to give us a higher low and then continue with an uptrend, or it's going to continue. So we wait. But remember, we have a weak resistance right up there. So if it reacts from that weak resistance, then it will come all the way down below. It's not a weak resistance, it's an anticipated resistance level. Why? Because of the previous lower high right there. That's why we are anticipating a resistance up there. Alright, that's it for this asset. Well, this is what we need right there, like that, and to take us right there. But remember, we haven't confirmed if this high is already done, so don't mind about it. Whenever it gives us an opportunity that the high is already done, then we can enter the sell to bring it down. But you have to know that according to M15, it will be giving you something like that, and then I'll come back. And according to M15, clearly we are seeing that we may have that opportunity as we speak. We may have that opportunity as we speak. The only issue is, according to H1, it's not yet overbought, sorry. But that won't hold us from entering the buy, the sell, to bring us all the way here. That won't hold us as long as we get an entry from where we want it from. Alright, that's it on V25S. Today I'm talking a lot, I don't know why. Let me now head over to I'm gonna leave this at H1. Let me now head over to V75 and we look at it also. V75. Alright, V75, I'm still waiting for this pullback and it's still happening. I failed, I couldn't enter yesterday. Look at the momentum of yesterday. This was the lowest point, that was the highest point, and yes, that was I couldn't enter that. I'm still waiting for this move. That's why I want to enter my sales from, so I couldn't even bother to make an analysis right here to push it down to this level. No, I'm waiting for that move. If I get that move, then my sell entries will be coming in immediately. So this is, I'm not going to waste any more time right there. That is we've already analyzed that, so I don't want to waste time. Daily is overbought, we are selling already. It gave us a change of character. H4 already we are selling, but we need a pullback there and then come down into sales. Why? Because according to CCI we reached, according to CCI, we reached all the retracement level right there. Yes, and clearly if I use my fib from there to here, you will see that I'm reaching the level, and the order block that is within the premium zone, or the point of interest that is within the premium zone, is clearly that order block right there. So that's what I'm anticipating to get my reaction from. I don't have any other point of interest that I can look at. Yeah, I don't have any other point of interest, so that's why I'm anticipating it to get there, and then we start the sales again. All right, jump 50. Jump 50. So with jump 50, yes, we knew that this was a change of character, but we had no entry. Yesterday we were waiting for this change of character to happen, and it happened, but upon happening it did not give us a retest after the change of character. So we are waiting. Up to now I'm still waiting, and probably waiting for price to come around that fair value gap. Once it comes around, and you can see that is a common fair value gap. It is both on H4, H1, and I believe even M15. Yes, so that's why it is very important for us to actually wait for that kind of change of character. I can even increase it on H4, put it around there, and now wait for a pullback. Wait for a pullback right there, and then entry of the buys again. Like I always say, if you want to learn everything that I'm doing right here, and probably add on to what you already know, and improve on your analysis knowledge, then you need to register for probably now May class, not April, because April we've already gone far. So you need to register for the May class and be able to be part of it and learn everything that I'm using right here. Smart money concept, all those strategies that we use, then you get to understand them. So now this is the deal. This will be just like a trade according to H4. This trade will just bring us there, and then later on we actually enter sales to take us all the way down. Why? Because according to weekly and daily, we need sales to take us all the way down below. So remember, the buys are for a short term according to H4. Get there and then come back strongly with sales. So we'll be waiting for that, but as of now I need a pullback, then an entry for the buy, all right. So we'll leave it at H4. Now let's head over to jump 25. Jump 25. Those who remember that yesterday, my limit orders were still in for the whole day. Actually, I moved out of them last almost before I slept. So these were the limit orders, kept going into profits, coming back. So I later broke even on the last entry, that is this one here, and then when it came back, it took me out on break even on this other first entry. This was the second entry right there, so took me out there, break even, but of course I made some money on the very second entry right there. So that's how it has been. Like I told you yesterday when I was analyzing, that Monday's momentum is always a tricky one. It's not even advised. For me, I even advised you guys not to waste your time making any entries due to the low momentum that is always anticipated in the market on Mondays. So let's now first clear the chart. Let's clear the chart right here, and then after clearing the chart, let's first go to D1. We wanted the retest there and then the sell, so meaning we have started the sell after grabbing that liquidity on that fair value gap. But then H4 has a weird kind of signal that is coming from CCI, which is saying we are oversold, we are just retesting to later on continue with the buy. And according to H4, we even see that price went ahead and grabbed liquidity on that fair value gap, which is the only point of interest according to H4 that was left back uninterrupted or unmitigated. And now it's been mitigated, and clearly we are seeing that price is still revolving around that area. So let's go to H1. Having mitigated that, H1 is still in a buy, so it even tells us that we are going to continue with a buy. Of course, H1 was showing us we are already oversold right here, and it showed us it right here when it gave us this and started to get into buys. So now H1 is suggesting the same, that we need to see buys to reach the overbought level, and clearly Now we first delete that. Something now lights up right here. If I use my trend line like that, if I use my trend line like that, and then I bring my other trend line like that, and that would be how price was moving. So if I go to M15, it will be a bit clear right there. It will be a bit clear right there and how price was moving. Low, high, low, high, wait, high, low, high. So it's still going to come right here, and then later on all we need is the breakout. So once we have a breakout, we know that price will be heading all the way right here, all the way from to be headed to there, right there. That's where we will have our point, our TP. And clearly, if you can see that there, then you know. And that's of course going to be bringing us back to this trend line. What is that trend line? Let's look at it. It's the upper trend line on the symmetrical triangle right there. So H1, alright, so that's what I'll be anticipating. So for now, I can easily delete that and remove it, and now head over to H4. I think the buy has started. According to what we have, I don't see it come all the way down again. The buy should be this right here. So let me go to M15, see that, and then clearly I don't have to wait. I have my buy right here. The only issue is price is still below my 10 MA, and yes, this fair value gap, this is not a fair value gap, but then there's a fair value gap down below according to M15 right here, right there. So either it's gonna come here and then give me an entry, or it has used the one on M5, but I don't see anything on M5. So it means this is still gonna come right here to give me the entry that I need. So for now, I'll be waiting. So let me now leave it alone, and we'll be coming back to it later. But as of now, I know where price is gonna head back to. I know where price is gonna head back to. We've already seen it, and we will enter this trade. This trade is gonna give us money. It's gonna give us money as we speak. It's going to give us money. All right, so enough of that. Let me now head over to jump 10, and we wrap this session today. So jump 10. Let's make sense of this. This is a falling wedge. We had a breakout there, and the current daily candle we are seeing is a retest candle. We've been waiting for that. And clearly, according to H4, we are overbought, which gives us a good indication of what to anticipate. All right, the oversold, overbought H1. Very weird momentum though. Then M15 oversold. Why? due to that weak resistance right there. That is the reason why it is oversold according to M15. But look at them, weird momentum. And once I see this is a turn off for me. I can't make any trades when I see something like this. So I'm not going to force anything right there. I'll just leave it at H4, and that's it. Until it gives me this move, I can't enter any buys. And clearly, having seen this on H4 being overbought, it can easily decide to come all the way back to such fair value gap right here, such fair value gap on 50%, yeah, such fair value gap right here. So it can easily even come all the way there before we can actually see a buy come in right there. So we need to just now hold on and leave it. Yes, of course, we have some fair value gaps there. Of course, on daily time, on H4 time frame, we have even this one right here, and that clearly is a valid order block where I have my point of interest where I'm anticipating price to react back to before we can see some buy entries. So clearly that's an order block, and we may see that give us what we need right there. So as of now, that is what I'm saying. I can't exceed the analysis from there on jump 10. It's still having a low momentum, so this, don't bother looking for sales on jump 10. You will face it rough. You don't want to enter a trade where you keep holding, hoping that it is going to now move, and it keeps moving as if it is a snail. You don't want to find yourself in such a trade. You want to enter a trade 1 or 2 hours, move out, or a trade even if it takes a whole day, you see its momentum. But trades that don't have a momentum, they're not moving at all, you rather leave them and wait for when the momentum comes in. So for now, this is a no-go for me. And now that leads us to now do the recap. So let's do the recap, and we call it a day. So crash 500, price has reached there, so one may now anticipate sells. One may anticipate sales because we can see that price is gonna give us a channel. It's gonna trade within a channel or within a range, so it's gonna start to sell as it goes. Actually, before even I finished saying something, it started to sell. So right there, I'm anticipating sales. This is M5, so I'm gonna sell there and put my stop loss just above there, and then I'll be anticipating my TP right there. But remember, like I said, these, look at that, even before I finished saying I'm in profits. That is what I was talking about. So I don't know, you know what to do. If it does a retest, then you make an entry. But I was trying to show you that clearly that it is going to happen, and that's what is happening. We are trading within the range, and that is a trade. Sell has already taken effect, and I'm already in profits. So enough of that. I don't have to say any more of that. Let's now head over to Boom 1000. We need that kind of sell according to H1. So until then, it's a no-go for me. So I don't have to say any much more here. I need to see some sales or price coming back into this rising wedge or the channel, whichever you want to call it, and then we start to see sales come in. Boom, 500. Of course, I need price to reach there, and then I can sell it probably to this fair value gap or that one down below. So whichever one gives us an entry, we can now enter our buys at a later stage. But as of now, we are still in a buy trend to take us all the way to the upper trend line. Volatility 25S, we need this, and it is happening actually like we had anticipated. The sell is happening to come here. So let me see H1. H1 is not yet convincing, but as same as H4. So this pullback will mean that H1 and H4 we are still selling, we're still buying. So this is just going to be a short sell, so I don't have to wait. I can make my entry there and put my stop loss right there. I don't want to risk a lot, and that means my profit will be here, but then I'll be having the first TP there, second TP there. This will be just the third TP right there. So it may come, I've not put my stop loss there. I should be putting my stop loss right above there. That's where I should put my stop loss, but I'm using that as a retest where it reacted from before it started to sell again. But most of the times it can easily do that and keep playing within here, within there, like that, then later on continue down, having taken us out. So that's what normally happens, but I'm still going to keep my stop loss there. I don't want to risk a lot because already H1 is not giving us an entry. I'm using an H1 entry. That is the reason I've entered this trade. I'm using M15 entry, and I've taken advantage of having seen that pullback being dealt with, and now the sell is on to give me this kind of money right about here, where I anticipate to enter my buys to continue with the trend on H1 and H4. Alright, so this is a retest trade. Those who don't trade retest, please don't enter. But if you do, then and you know your lot size to use, you can easily enter this, or you can wait on let's see. I don't see why we have to wait. Oh yes, there might be another pullback when price reacts comes to this first TP level, so we might see another pullback. So you can wait. If you don't enter now, you can wait when it does another pullback here, according to M15. When it does that pullback, then you can enter and then wait for it to come again down below. That's how you can make another entry if you want to. But as of now, I'm already in. I've locked in my entry there. This is a retest. We need to enter from there. So if it doesn't give me that, there's a weak kind of resistance right here. So I need to see it be broken. I want it to be broken. I don't know if it will be broken to get to that order block. So for now, I have no entry to sell this asset. Jump 50. I want it to come here, and then we enter that buy, and I'm going to leave this at H4 because that's the appropriate time frame that I'm looking at it having a better entry. Jump 25. Pull back here, then we can enter buys. So until then, if I don't see a pullback, that I'm not going to enter buys, I'll be risking. Jump 10, this is a no-go like I said. Why? Because I need to see sales come right here, then I can enter buys. I may not enter sales because of the momentum they have, but I may enter buys. By then probably the momentum will be very good. All right, so that's it for today. Please don't forget to like this stream so that YouTube can push us too. Then those who did not enter sales on crash, you will have a second entry, a second opportunity to enter that. And I believe it may be now. If you don't want to wait, you can enter now. Remember, we are trading it within the range, so it's a short trade, and a small trade actually doesn't have that big of money. I'm risking only $2 right there, 2.7. I'm taking around $12. So if that is the kind of trade that you want, or if you can be able to increase your lot size, you can do, to aim at bigger profits within the range here as you trade. So it's up to you. Let me wish you guys a good day. See you tomorrow same time. Remember, at 1 today I'll do a BTC analysis. It is a Tuesday. Last Friday I failed to do the analysis. I failed to do the analysis on BTC. I was held up by some endeavors, but today we will have the analysis at 1. So those who love BTC and do trade crypto, you can come along and we look at it. We are about to start the second phase of bull run. Yeah, having seen it actually come around there on that very order block, I mean not a fair value gap. That's where we wanted it to. We wanted to actually enter our buys, but still it's not that very viable. It has not reached at least 50%, so that's why we still anticipate this kind of sell, because we have a fair value gap. It has grabbed the liquidity, so we're anticipating price to come again all the way down below, and probably it will activate our limit order. So if you want more of this, please make it a point to join the BTC analysis at 1, and then we look at it in detail. Let me wish you guys a good day. Happy trading. See you soon.